It's green for go. They're racing.
He says go.
He says ta-da.
And Tiger Tara roars away from them on the home turn.
Here comes another big boil over.
Equine athleticism at its best. The king is in the castle once more.
This is in one race. The rest are almost in another postcode.
She is a star with a capital S.
It's going to be a triple treat, a miracle three-peat. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history here at Menangle. What about that?
It's getting right up on the sprint lane and it's going to bolt in.
Hello and welcome to the Sunday session. My name is Greg Hayes and I'm here to talk harness racing for the next 30 minutes or so. Interesting times in harness racing, especially with news of the changes to the handicapping system about to take place at the start of the 2026 season, which have been ratified by the HRA members. This has been one of the biggest concerns for trainers and owners in recent years, and there has been action at the highest level to try and fix the issues. I don't have all of the details. You'll hear plenty more about it in the coming week with Toby McKinnon from Harness Racing Australia. He's going to do the media rounds and explain the changes. I've read through the new system, which is available on the harness.org.au website, and I'll try and explain it the best I can in simple terms, and I'll do some more on this next week, and I'll speak to a leading trainer about it. I know Ricky Alchin has been very vocal about change needing to take place. So once Ricky gets his head around the changes, I might see if he wants to come on and have a chat. Speaking with trainers and owners about the current system, these were the issues. So the number of horses below NR50, and I think I've read somewhere where it's something like 55% of all horses are at that 50 or below. Tried horses that have won a number of races across their careers racing inexperienced horses. 2-year-olds starting their career at a rating which was too high. And horses finishing their 3-year-old season too high. Some other issues, rating points for maidens running places should not be incurred. So effectively, if you have a maiden that runs a placing early in its career, then all of a sudden, if you're going into a race where it's preferential draw on $1 and made it really tough on the maidens. The changes that are coming will see a new points matrix for winners, which will push horses winning multiple races up in the ratings. And the new changes will restrict horses dropping back to the last 4 horses only in any race on the provision they've finished 6th or worse. And 2- and 3-year-old horses will incur half points rounded down. So what everyone needs to understand is that there are a number of factors which need to be taken into account when you look at handicapping. You need to create competitive racing, which means a good wagering product. You don't want odds-on favourites. You want bigger fields, and you want to see the average price of the favourite increasing over time. You keep running races at $1.40, and the punters will turn away. You need to get that average starting price out. I think it's about $2.40, $2.45. But if we can make that $2.50, if we can make that $2.60, that's ideal. You need greater utilisation of the foal crop. Obviously, we're not breeding as many as we used to back in the day, but we need to make sure that those foals that are being born, once they're at the races, they can earn. You need to increase returns to owners, so effectively you don't want horses hitting their mark and no longer being a racing proposition. You want more horses racing. You want a good spread of prize money across the board, so everyone is getting something and the industry prospers and we don't see, monopolies with big stables just dominating. And you want horses racing like for like within the system. I think one of the most important points that I've just mentioned there is horses hitting their marks and no longer being a racing proposition. Now, I know plenty of people have been screaming about wanting the old system back. That was everyone says, so much better back in the days where we had the C-class racing and the M-class racing. But it wasn't in all aspects. How many horses won their CO and then they won their C1 and they couldn't win a C2, or maybe flummed a C2 and then couldn't win a C3? We lost a lot of horses in and around that grade who couldn't be competitive, and people will say, well, just get rid of the horses, sell them, go and find another horse. But with the smaller racing population, the smaller number of foals being born, you can't be so dismissive of those horses back in that old system that got through to a C2, C3 and couldn't go any further. You just can't say, let's get rid of them. You've got to have somewhere for them to race. You need them in your racing ecosystem. We don't have enough horses competing, and therefore this group of horses needs to be financially viable for owners. Otherwise, not only do you lose the horse, but then you lose the owners as well. So yes, look, it's not an easy task to make everyone happy, but it is something that definitely needed to be addressed, and Harness Racing Australia have done that. Let's hope moving forward it's a step in the right direction and the industry becomes stronger as a result of the changes that are about to be put in place to start 2026. So look, there is going to be a lot happen over the next 7 days. Obviously, Toby McKinnon is going to speak on plenty of media platforms. I know that he's going to be speaking with on Campbell's Comments. He'll be joining Gareth Hall in the next week as well. So you'll read plenty of information on social media about the changes. And I'll try and, as I said, catch up with someone, a trainer, to discuss what's going on and whether, as a trainer, whether they think these changes are going to do what needed to be done. On the track at Menangle on Saturday night, it was all about Brad Hewitt, with Brad taking home a treble. Jason Grimson and Will Rickson combined with Hooter to win the first. Grant Ellul and Ash Deloza won the Teeny Stakes with Ideal in Dreams. Adam Kelly and Bailey McDonough won the Tatlow with Show Me the Tan Line. Cynical won again for David Thorne and provided Will with the second leg of his double. And Alistair Copps and Josh Gallagher won the last with Alta Sierra. In Queensland for New South Wales, Jason Grimson and Cam Hart combined to win the Sunshine Sprint with Hi, My Name is Jeff. And now it heads towards the Blacks Are Fake next week. I guess the big question is, where does Swayze go? He was back at the trials during the week. Grimo already has Jeff up there in Queensland. And there is that really nice race at Newcastle as part of the Carnival Cup. So maybe he pops up there. I guess only time will tell. It would make it harder for Captain's Knock as he tries to go for that $1 million bonus. But interesting times coming up with Swayze and where he does pop his head up. Well, who's on the podcast today? I haven't had Brad Hewitt on the show in 3 weeks. So after a treble, I thought it would be timely to speak with him. It's been a mixed week for Brad and his dad, David, with news that Extreme C has gone amiss again. So I'll speak with Brad about the horse's future. I read a social media post saying that the injury would be career-ending, but I'll ask Brad about what the future looks like for the horse. Not too sure whether it's all over Red Rover just yet for Extreme C. Also, Grant Ellul is going to join me for a chat today. Now, Grant has been hands-on with the horses for a long time, been a big part of his father's success, and now he's taken out a trainer's license in his own name. Well, Grant finally cracked it for a training winner, and to make it even better, it was a Menangle Saturday night winner with Ideal in Dreams when it won the Teeny. Grant's a cabinet maker by trade. I spoke to him on the podcast in the middle of last year, and he's had a career change since then. So he's going to join me for a chat and we're going to learn all about what he's doing now. Mr. T will be back with a couple of tips. I think we both got a winner this week. So this being the last week of spring effectively with summer hitting us next week, we get one more set of tips before we announce our spring winner in our tipping competition. Plenty to talk about. First up, though, let's catch up with Brad Hewitt.
What's coming from the back? Not much. Nyack's trying to get into the action. Max will have to come wide, but Captain's Knock first into the lane. 27.5, he's really rolling. Rips out after him. They were followed then by I Break the Line. Nyack starting to get home, but it's Captain's Knock. He's in full control, coming down below the 75. Still 6 metres in front of Rip. And Captain's Knock wins again. He grabbed hold. Too good.
3 winners for Brad Hewitt on Saturday night at Menangle, and more importantly, 2 of the 3 winners were the stable stars, with Captain's Knock continuing on his winning way and the Locomotive back from a break with a good performance in the trot. From my count for the stable's last 12 starters, it's been 8 winners and 2 of the remaining 4 starters have placed. So Brad is joining me to have a chat. Congratulations with the way the stable's rolling at the moment.
Good on you, Hazy. Yeah, it's been a great week. So, yeah, really happy with it.
Always nice to have the stable firing like that. Is this the best team of horses that you've had around you in your career?
Yeah, well, with a couple that are in the paddock and that. With Hollywood Strip, he's due back this week. So, but yeah, they've got sort of a good mix of horses there, and yeah, pretty good team.
And like I noticed that there's a few there for you and Millie. Like, is it how many would be for outside clients? How many like home horses have you got in the stable?
Don't really know, to be honest. I know this year we got sort of 3, homebred 2-year-old fillies. So there was Applauding, Real Temptation, and Sniper's Fire. Yeah, that we own all them. So it's good little money ATMs. Them ones have been the last sort of couple of months. But they're just a mix of everything. But always try to breed a few or a couple each year, and have some sort of horses, ANSLs coming through the stable.
Yeah, for sure and certain. Talking about ATMs, Captain's Knock, 148.9 last night and looked to be doing it in second gear. He's now won 4 on the trot. I think his longest winning streak in his career was 5 in a row back as a young horse. I keep saying it, but he looks like he's taken that next step. He looks like he's in career best form.
Yeah, he's just really in the zone at the minute and racing really good. He's nice and sound, touch wood, but he's never gone better in his life.
And he's starting to get a little bit of that fear factor about him where rival trainers and drivers are just going to say, oh, look, let's let him go. Like, there's no use parking him or making him work. He looks like he's starting to get a bit of a reputation too, that he's the top dog around at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's got that great gate speed at Menangle, so he can always put himself nice and handy there anyway. But, as sort of seen it, Wagga, like he's sat parked for the last sort of nearly 2,000 metres, and it was too strong for him all there too. So he's just a great little horse, and good race horse, can win from anywhere. So just hope that we can keep him in this form for a bit longer.
Was last night all about keeping him ticking over for Newcastle next week and keeping your shot at that $1 million bonus going? Yeah,
he always just thrives on racing. That just means I don't have to do as much with him at home. Like he would have put on another sort of between 5 and 10 kilos from his Wagga run to now. Like, he can just get away on you in a matter of days if you don't sort of watch him. He just does a bit every day. He's such a good doing little horse. But he's really loving the racing at the minute too, which is another thing. And it's just easy to keep him up to the mark when he's sort of just racing week to week. But we're just going to pick our battles a bit after next week.
It helps when Don Hugo goes to Queensland, but who do you expect to be competing against in the second leg of the Carnival of Cups? Do you think it'll be a field similar to what we see in the free-for-alls at Menangle on a Saturday night?
Yeah, I'd say so. And you can't imagine too many Queenslanders, if any, will come with their Carnival being on up there. And the only other one I thought might be there was Swayze. I see he trialled through the week. Like, I don't know what Grimo's plans are with him, but I thought he might have been another one that could potentially be there, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I haven't asked you this before, but the attraction in the Carnival of Cups target is all because of that $1 million bonus. Do you think you'd be in Queensland chasing the Blacks of Fake had that bonus not been there or the bonus not been in play? Would you have gone to Queensland for the Blacks of Fake if there wasn't $1 million on the line at Newcastle next week?
Yeah, I actually would have this year, just given that sort of leap to fame hasn't been at his absolute peak, like his last sort of handful of runs. And if you're ever going to take him on, now would be the time. But in saying that, he could just be so much better when he's back home in his own environment. He could come out next week and spank him, who knows. But if Newcastle wasn't on, I definitely would have gone up there.
Have you mapped out what happens after Newcastle? The next Carnival of Cups race isn't until the end of January at Bathurst, so there's a fair bit of time between runs in that series.
Yeah, I just he'll have an easy sort of week after Newcastle, and just really sit down and have a good look. But more than likely go down to Victoria. I think there's 2 legs of their series down there at Bendigo and Shepparton, and then I think there might be a fortnight maybe until the Bathurst run. But I've got to go there with the locomotive anyway, and this little fella, Captain's Knock, he's sort of, as I said, he loves the race and that doesn't worry him. And Bendigo and Shepparton are sort of our closest tracks. There's not much difference to going to Newcastle, to be honest. So he's a seasoned traveller and campaigner. So we'll give him a look at them, or at least the first one anyway, and see how he measures up.
You mentioned the locomotive. He was back in action last night. He broke the 156. He looked to do it within himself. Were you happy with the run, and how did he pull up?
Yeah, I was happy with how he went. Crazy, just sort of. He's a lot heavier now than what he ever has been, and I still don't know whether or not he's got to drop a little bit, or he sort of might just race like that a bit now too, just being sort of a 6-year-old stallion. But yeah, it's good we didn't have to knock him around. He obviously showed that great gate speed that he's got, and got an easy time of it after that, and just dashed up the straight and done what he had to. But it was really ideal sort of kick-off point for where he's at anyway.
So from what you're saying there, with the way, his makeup now, and he's a little bit heavier, do you think that there's, maybe another run or two before he's 100% fully screwed down, or you just basically got to wait and see if that's how he's going to be from now on, just because he's a getting older and he's a stallion?
Yeah, I think sort of a bit of both, but he's definitely going to benefit from last night's run, and even after another one, as I said, he's an older horse now, and them stallions sort of take a little bit to come to hand. I know even Captain's Knock, he's the same. He's sort of not at his best until he's had sort of a few runs under his belt. So this fella will be the same, but he does what you want with him at home. He's really proud type worker, and that he just loves his work. So there's no doubt he'll be better after another run anyway. But in saying that, he's pretty close to the mark as well.
So everything targeted towards the Great Southern Star for him?
Well, he'll definitely be going to that. But they got the bonus with the Melbourne races down there too, and for the trotters, I think they got to win 4 of the 6 races. I think, but it's sort of same as Captain's Knock. I was just going to sort of work in tandem with one another, but for the paces and the trotters, I think there's one at Bendigo and one at Shepparton, and I won't be going to the other ones with Captain's Knock because it's going to clash with Bathurst up here. But with the locomotive, he'll sort of spend a lot of time down in Melbourne. He'll probably have to chase them races around, I'd say. Just obviously depending on how he's going, but he'll be chasing a few of them races down there.
The third of the winners last night, Isla Rochelle was the third leg. Great form since joining the team. She's only a 3-year-old filly. She was in the up to 80 last night. Do you think that she's got that improvement to come, that she'll step into the better 4-year-old races next year?
Well, she's can't fault her for what she's done so far. I think she's won 4 or 5 since she's come back from a spell, and I've sort of liked her well before she sort of stepped out for the first time. Showed good ability. She's got really high speed, which will suit her down at Menangle. But I think with each run, she's just getting that bit stronger as well. But she'll probably only have another run or two and freshen up. And I think she should be better after another bit of a break and another sort of preparation. She'll just get that bit stronger, being a 4-year-old man next year. And she's going to be a good Menangle class horse anyway, put it that way.
Did want to ask you about Real Temptation, 2-year-old that debuted on Monday at Goulburn, brained them. It wasn't a strong field, but what are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, I really like her. She's the same, got unreal high speed, but just felt her not quite 100% the last sort of couple of weeks, so I'll just give her a bit of time in the paddock and look at a few more races next year with her. But I think she's got really nice ability.
Okay. Bad news emerged on Saturday about Extreme C. Dreadful news for the stable. What's the story there?
He sort of went sore in that leg again. Same leg, but sort of a bit of a different injury. But it means he's more time off the scene, and sort of another 6 to 9 months before he can come back to work. But yeah, with any of them things, and when they're coming back from injuries like that, yeah, it's never a great outlook. But anyway, you've got to give him a bit of time again. He's only 5, turning 6 and had a handful of starts. So yeah, definitely be having another go. Just got to have a bit more patience again.
Okay, so that is good news. So you're not pulling the pin. Like there's still some light at the end of the tunnel at this stage.
Yeah, we actually had the stem cell surgery a couple of days ago. So yeah, to try and speed up all the process and everything like that. But yeah, he'll definitely be having another go.
Have you had any success with that stem cell the treatment in the past? Have you used it before?
Yeah, but I only done it once. And our triple play, he actually broke down as a 4-year-old, I think, or 4 or 5-year-old, one or the other. Might have been 5. And he got back and got a lot of starts out of him. So yeah, but he was one that we did get back to the races, and yeah, had a bit of success doing that. So yeah, let's hope this fella can be the same.
For sure and certain, mate. Good luck this week, and we'll see you at Newcastle on Friday.
Sounds good, mate. Thank you.
27-7, no dramas, first into the straight, tenaciously trying to live up to its namesake and hang on. Charlie's Ace to the outside, and Ideal in Dreams is getting up on the inside, tenaciously Ideal in Dreams, and still there is no dramas. Ideal in Dreams goes to the lead, trying to get out after it again latest tenaciously, but it's Ideal in Dreams the winner. Ideal in Dreams wins the teeny and beats tenaciously.
Ideal in Dreams took out the teeny stakes for trainer Grant Ellul on Saturday night. I spoke with Grant on the podcast back in June last year. I think his dad had a double, and his dad said, give Grant a ring. It'll be worth having a chat to him. And after the win last night, I thought it would be timely to get him back on the podcast. Now, last night's win was Grant's first official win as a trainer, and he is joining me to have a chat about it. Mate, you'd still be on cloud 9, wouldn't you? Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Hazy. Yeah, it was really good. It was quite rewarding. Took me a few starts, but we finally got there.
What were you thinking at the top of the straight? Did you think this might be the night where you break through for your first one?
Yeah, she just had no luck in running. Can't do a whole lot of work early, but last night sitting leaders back, and when I seen her get a bit of fresh air up the straight up the fence, I was like, come on, girl, I think this is the night.
Did you give Ash any instructions? Because she drove a perfect race. She got off the gate well, in behind the leader, and then you mentioned she got that inside run, didn't go around a horse. It was the perfect drive. Yeah,
no, she drove her a treat. We sort of do normally drive her a little bit more conservatively at the start, but last night with the lower class horses inside us, we sort of thought it was a good night just to use her a little bit early and hold a positive position, and she drove her a treat.
Yeah, haven't had a lot of starters to the races in your name, but I reckon that first winner would be pretty satisfying.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it sort of did feel like it was a long sort of wait, but hopefully they just keep rolling from here.
What made you decide it was time to go and get a license?
I moved out from where we originally had the horses. We just had too many horses, sort of, and we were outgrowing the property we were on. And then, things changed, and ended up just taking the horses out to Menangle, now in the training centre there, and sort of had to hold my own licence. So yeah.
And you're also you've had a bit of a career change as well. You're now a farrier.
Yeah, just started out this year full time. Hung the tools up, and now been shoeing quite a few horses. It's been a good change.
How are you finding it in terms of your body and your back?
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad. I've been I sort of only aim up to do maybe 5 a day, 6 a day. Any more than that, you get into bed and you start aching and whatnot. So yeah.
And so you're doing a lot of the horses out at Menangle for different trainers.
I'm doing a few. Ricky Alchin's been good to me. Michael Stanley, he's been really good to me, and a few more smaller trainers in between. But yeah, it sort of went from doing one or two here and there to just kicking right off. And I didn't think it was going to all happen so quickly, but it turns out I'd working 6 days a week and chasing my tail every day.
And where did you learn the farrier trade from? Like who helped you and taught you?
Just sort of always watched farriers and whatnot and took an interest in it. And I guess being a tradesman from cabinet making, you're sort of quite handy and you learn angles and whatnot. And then, just trial and error on all of my own horses. I've been shoeing my own for quite a few years. And then, slowly just, started establishing myself and did some work for a few trainers and they were happy with it. And then it all took off from there.
Back to your training, you've had just over the 20 starters and you've only got a few horses in your name. I think Ideal in Dreams, Bartello, Mr. Manager. That small team makes it manageable for you with the shoeing you've got going?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Now, like I said, now moving out to Menangle, I sort of get the horses done of a morning and then finish up, go have something to eat, and then shoe all through till the rest of the day. But it's good. I think I'm up to like 6 or 7 horses there now. Got a few young ones coming through, but it's been good.
What are the plans with Ideal in Dreams going forward? You just see if you can find another race like last night?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. She's had quite a few starts in the last month. She'll probably miss a fortnight. And then, aim her up for something else. I've seen, there's always those mares races on a Saturday night. The only thing, she just seems to always draw a little awkwardly in them. Surprisingly, last night, it was a 95 mares, and I don't think there was one in it higher than a 70. So, she was well graded in that race and managed to come up with a good draw. But, just keep punching her around, I guess. I don't know what the owners exactly want to do, but she's going good at the moment.
Mr. Manager raced a couple of days ago at Penrith. You've been bouncing between Menangle and Penrith with him. He won a race since you bought him, so he's doing a good job for the stable. Yeah,
he's actually going way better than his form reads. His sectional times have been really good. He's a bit the same as her, just can't seem to get the right trip and the right run. They're getting home in 55 halves around Penrith and you're 4 and 5 wide trying to chase him down, which just makes it mathematically impossible. But with the right draw and the right race, he's knocking on the door for a win.
Now you've had your driving licence in the past. Drove a couple of winners back in 2022. Is that part of your career over, or you're still interested in driving?
I don't really have too much of an interest. I don't get out enough to drive, but between Bailey, Chris and Ash, they've been my main drivers and they're doing a great job and takes the pressure off me too because, been so busy with shoeing and training and whatnot. So, just leave it up to them.
And you mentioned that there's a few unraced ones in the barn at the moment?
Yeah, there's 2 rising 2-year-olds there. One that we picked up from the APG sales and one that family friends of ours bred. They're both working up nice and showing a little bit of promise, which is a little bit exciting.
So how are you enjoying that move into being a farrier away from cabinet making? Is it a totally different in terms of work-life balance? Like, is it totally different, or are you finding it easier or better than it was?
Yeah, I definitely do find it better, only just because being a cabinet maker, you'd sort of be on site from 7 a.m. and then not leave site till probably 3 o'clock, and then God knows where you were on that day, having to drive home and then work horses. That was really long days. Where this way, it's it's good. You can sort of earn the same sort of money in 4 or 5 hours of work in the day, and have the rest of the day to concentrate on the horses. So it's good.
And when you were a cabinet maker, were you your own boss, or were you working for someone?
Yeah, I worked for myself. I was a contractor. Doing kitchen installations. But you still sort of had to answer to the companies that you contracted to. But this way it's farrowing, it is a lot better.
Well, mate, it's great to hear. Good to see that you got the monkey off your back and got that first winner. There will be plenty more to come, and it's really good to see that you're making a success of it. Well done.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate having me on.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Winning. Hey, that's pretty good.
Winner!
That was legitness.
That I say, all right. Wow, winning.
Bam! Just like that. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. A winner! Just like that.
I'm the winner is...
Wow, how exciting is this? There's only $2 between Mr. T and I going into the last week. I'm actually in front, and we're both losing a stack of money in this season. I'm negative 85. Mr. T's negative 87. We both got a winner as well. Mr. T got 1 from 2. His winner was Alpha and Alma at Bathurst. Paid $1.20. And then I got Sweet Strike at Menangle on Monday. It paid $2.90. So this is going to be interesting. Mr. T, he's splitting his tips. He's going to Young on Tuesday, Bathurst Wednesday. Young Tuesday, race 6, number 2, He's a Vincent for Jack O'Shea. Won by a huge margin at Dubbo last time out. Doesn't look any tougher. I think Mr. T's just trying to find a shorty with this tip. So just to cover his $10 investment. Race 6, number 2, He's a Vincent. And then his other one, this will be value, Wednesday, Bathurst. Race 5, number 1, Duffy Hollow for Nathan Turnbull. Last win was back in South Australia, but the barrier draw is a big plus. So Mr. T's hoping for some Turnbull magic, and he thinks there might be some value there to get him over the line in the spring edition of the tipping comp. So that's race 5, number 1, Duffy Hollow at Bathurst on Wednesday. My 2, I'm going to Menangle Monday. Race 4, number 4, Financially Stable. Tipped this at Goulburn last week in the Goulburn preview. It was huge. Got pushed out 4 and 5 wide when it made its move. I reckon if George had sat up for another 50 metres or even trailed up on the back of Matt Rue, it would have won. He can ease off the gate. He can come home with that one run. Our Surf and Safari's in the race. It'll be short as well. So I think there'll be some value there with Financially Stable, and it's flying. Race 4, number 4. And then go to race 7. I'm going to go with number 9, Lenneth. Now, Trevor Monday and Cam Hart combined. This one's flying since joining the Monday team. It's been drawing well and draws wider here against some horses that are in form. First start at Menangle for Trev, but he has trialled the horse on the track, gets the services of Cam Hart, so gets a few ticks for the horse overall. That's race 7, Menangle Monday, number 9, Lenneth. That just about wraps up the podcast. Thanks for tuning in again. Next week, I'll talk more about the handicapping changes and, of course, a full wrap on the Newcastle Carnival of Cups with the music on track being the Screaming Jets, Alex Lloyd and Max Jackson for all of the country fans out there. Get your tickets. It's free, but you have to have tickets to get in, so have a look online. Thanks to Brad Hewitt and Grant Ellul for joining me today. Thank you for your company. I'll catch you next week. It's bye for now.